All right, guys, here you go. Here we go. This Wumlu from Cadence Radio, back again. Last week, I had a good session with you guys. It was pretty intense. Well, it's pretty intense on my end, anyways. But glad I got some information out for you. Hopefully, people watching this video. If not, whatever. It's been a somber Friday today for me. For some of my friends, my high school friends. We buried one of our good friends. He passed away from cancer. Been battling for a good couple of years. Used to talk to him on Instagram and Messenger and everything. Wanted us to do some music together. And then all of a sudden he disappeared. Want to know where he went, and got the bad news about last week that he passed away from cancer with his battling cancer. It was a good turnout. About over 500 people came to pay their respects. He's a great guy. The stories he said he had very young, only 41. This cancer is going to be the death of the human race. It takes probably a lot of people in the day. So what I want to tell everybody is try to be healthy, eat healthy, exercise, do whatever, get your body up, and hopefully you be whatever is ailing you. But when it's your time to go, it's your time to go. But hopefully it won't be for a very long time. He leaves three beautiful daughters down here. But all my prayers go to him and his family, and hopefully they stay strong, because they know, well, I know that they know that they lost one of the good light bearers in the world, and in my life anyways. So yeah, blessings, prayers. It was a great service, and prayers all around. So that's my little piece about it. I want the guys to get you caught up on one of the craziest days. Yes, I'm going to say again, I'm from Canada. But I do follow a lot of U.S. politics, because whenever they move, that's when we move. That's not saying much, but like I said, looks like Canada, USA, Mexico, all the North America, it's basically interconnected. Everything's interconnected. So getting to it, Trump beat this collusion delusion, I call it, about Russia. That was one of the most atrocious things I ever seen. That evidence that Russia helped him win the election. Bring the evidence on. There was no evidence whatsoever, and this has been in the news for about 2 years, saying that this is collusion, there's going to be arrests, there's going to be indictments. And the biggest thing, which I think this whole hoax happened, was they were trying to pin it on some of his kids. Big mistake, especially if you're a parent and someone goes after your kids. It's war. And that's basically what's going to be happening in the next 6-7 months. It's going to be an all-out war. Since that dropped, and Trump had that big rally up in Michigan, but that was a great rally, hilarious. This guy, off the cusp, just You can tell that this guy is a bulldog. So if you bite him, he's gonna bite you back. You know. Well, but the biggest thing was that interview he had with Sean Hannity when it says that the people running with this lie are gonna pay and will pay dearly. And you guys are gonna see what I've been talking about, what a lot of people have been talking about, like YouTube, all the alternative media. I call them the right media, the right news, true news media. Props to X22, Dustin Amos, Liz Crokin, David Wilcock. I can keep on going, but go get the news from them, especially X22 and SGT report. And Dustin Amos is pretty good, but get the news from him. And I have to shout out to Mr. Dave Jander, because he's basically, that guy is legit. He knows what's happening. But there's a lot of people, heads which are gonna fall. In my last podcast, what I talked about was how Russia did this, how Putin went into power. He saw that his country was getting sold by these rich oligarchs. He came in and he kicked the shit out. He kicked them all out and basically turned that country around. Basically, it's more nationalistic. They're protecting what they have, and you cannot come and steal what they have either. And that's what I'm seeing, which is going to happen to America. After that wall, of course, that wall is going to be built, and they're going to nationalize themselves. You're going to see it also in Europe, where the first people I think who's going to leave the EU is going to be Italy, and then it's going to be Spain, and then it's going to be France. France might be the first ones actually to leave the EU, because those protests, please, no one is talking about what those yellow vest protests are doing. And these guys, they've been marching for the last 6-7 months, protesting about how it's unfair what the EU is doing to that country, the mass migrations, and basically that whole country is being trashed, while the oligarchs laugh, or whoever the hell these demons are, taking other people's money, and they try to wring you dry. Same thing I think is going to happen up here in Canada. We're going to be more nationalistic. It's going to happen. I think the Liberals have had their one last stand, so they're pretty much done. I think it's going back to the Conservatives, and of course, you know how the Conservatives work. They're going to follow the route of America. They're capitalists through and through, and they want the business coming in to Canada, and they want a piece of the pie. But you're going to see more nationalization in Canada, and you're going to see a lot of laws which were written by the Liberals change. And the sooner the better, because there's no way a country can survive with uncontrolled mass migration when the people in that country are suffering to begin with, looking for jobs. Like, I'm in Calgary, and the statistics came out, I think last month. We were the highest unemployment rate in Canada right now. And Mr. Trudeau wants to get more people coming into the country. If there's no jobs, what are these people going to do? Are they going to live off the government? And what's going to happen if that happens? Our taxes go up, because you cannot sustain. So you can't stand that many people coming in, and you can't give them any jobs. So the citizens of that country, which I am, are gonna bear the burden, and the children and their children are gonna bear the burden, and basically it's gonna be that poverty, that line between the rich and poor, is going to be stretched even more further. And how that works, once that line is stretched more further, you're going to get more government support, and basically you are a tool to the government, a slave to the government. But like I said, things, when you throw it down, there's always a balance. what I'm going to try to get some philosophical here with you guys. There's always a balance. There's a balance between Earth balances itself out. If something happens, if and the Earth needs to do something, it's a living, breathing organism. It will balance itself out. Hence, if it needs to have an earthquake or a volcano or something, or move a cloud or have storms and stuff, that's what the Earth does. If you dig deep a little bit more research and stuff, there are some weather controlled anomalies which happen, which you can't control the weather. It's just basically a matter of shooting a whole lot of nitrates and stuff. They have it down. Some people, these scientists, have it down packed, but most of it is natural. And if the Earth sees it, it always tries to balance it out. So this is what's gonna happen. I think the demons, the big, huge oligarchs, they're pushing their hand right now, and they're gonna come in strong, straight out for the next 7 months. Because I'm saying 2020 is gonna be when the shit's gonna hit the fan. There's gonna be a lot of people in jumpsuits, or there's gonna be a lot of people who die. I'm sorry to say that, but there is. And the people who really need to wake up is us citizens, us people of the world. Whatever's happening in France, it's gonna carry over. It's like what they call the 100th monkey effect, they call it, where basically there's so much energy built up, and I guess I'm gonna try to have this analogy one time. It's like one couple monkeys come up and they start fending for food, and then the other monkeys in another region. Well, yeah, I'll back it up here. So you got a jungle. In one region, there's let's say a group of monkeys. They jump in, they start collecting food. There's another region which is way across, let's say across the jungle, and you see these monkeys collecting food. But then the other monkeys on the other region start doing the same thing. And then basically it starts spreading, because basically we're almost human beings, like nature's beings. That's basically any nature species have almost a hive mind. It's almost like an energy that it's all synced together, right? So basically everything, if someone's doing that, someone is willing themselves to bring that energy out, it is going to affect a whole lot of people, and you can affect a whole lot of people around the world. And this is what I'm going to see. But the thing about it is, what side is going to force their energy on everybody else? Is it the evil side, or is it the good side? So basically these two forces are colliding together right now. And honestly, the only thing I can do, I want to do a little bit more, but I've been trying to be doing these videos just to update a lot of people of what's really is going on. So that force is real, both evil and both good. They're both real, and it's clashing. We're just right on the cusp. We're on the cusp and we're on the tilt, and we'll see who's going to tilt and win this battle. I think good prevails in the end, because once those secrets come out of what these oligarchs have been doing to countries, what they've been doing to people, and how many millions of people have suffered and died and killed just because these people want to just gain that little extra ounce of power, we are going to rise up. We are going to take these guys out, and there's going to be a moment of peace where we can finally rest and be good, and I'm telling you, the stuff I've been researching, the cancer, like the diseases and which are in the world right now. Most of them are made by these people just to try to kill us all down. It's in the food we eat, it's in the habits we do. And, it's time for us to really wake up. I think that the people who led the charge, I'll tell you that right now, the people who did lead the charge, I think it was Russia. Russia brought back their nationalism. Now it's boiling over to the United States. And then it's going to boil over to us. There's been always a revolution up in Africa. Africa's been fighting for their freedom ever since I was born there. And ever since, I'll say there's always wars, there's always something. But once that motherland rests, it's a whole different ball game. So watch out what's going to happen. All these oligarchs, all these criminals. And the thing about it is, the reason why I'm so up on talking about Mr. Trump is because I don't see him as a Democrat. I don't see him as a Republican either. I just see him as a guy who's trying to right the ship. I have a feeling that he does have some people in his back with him, and I think these people who are steering him to do this, they found out that they need to do something real quick, and they need to bring balance to this fiasco, this grift, because something which is quite bigger than us, quite bigger than them, is going to come to roost. So I think they're trying to get it to be back to the balance it's supposed to be, because it hasn't been balanced for the longest years. Over 100, over 1,000 years, this has not been balanced. So I think they're steering them to it. I don't know what's going to come out of it, but there's going to be a balance between good and evil. And I think good is going to be what's going to be spread, because once those truth comes out with these criminals who that's all they do, hijack the government, they hijack the church, they are going to get exposed, and they're going to be put into their place, either executed, I don't know, but they're not going to be running anything for a very long time. We're going to have a moment of peace, and I'm going to say that in 2020, that's when it's going to hit the fan, and that's when we're going to see some change happening, and it's a change for the good. We're going to see a lot of stuff like this currency, this debt currency, which is going to stop. I think we're also going to see some medicine cures, with a whole lot of people being cured for a whole bunch of diseases which were basically man-made. And you're going to see free energy. You're going to see our reliance on the energy we have right now go down. I'm not talking about Mr. AOC's crazy Green Deal or anything like that. It's a bunch of crock, So it's coming. I'm very optimistic that we're going to see the light. I want to, and me doing this video, I just want to get people woke and basically just look at another alternative to getting your news, getting your facts. I still watch the MSNBC. I still watch. I don't watch CNN anymore because that's just a freaking gong show. But I also watch it just to see where they're steering you. And then I watch these people I just mentioned, X22, HG2 Report, and get the facts, and the facts are straight up. You got the facts. If you can show truth Truth is never going to hide from anybody. The truth is always there. It doesn't hide. It's always there in your face. It's the people who are attempting, the people with those lies. The lies are the ones which is attempting to hide the truth, but the truth always does come out. And you're gonna see a whole lot of stuff come out when a whole lot of reports are going to be declassified, and hopefully it wakes some people up from their brainwashed minds that this was straight up one of the biggest hoaxes and one of the biggest treasonous acts of trying to take a duly elected president out of his post. How can you insult half the nation who voted for him, saying that Russia stole votes and all that stuff? That's just a kick in the ass right now, for all the people who voted. What a joke. A crock of crap. And just to kick it all off, one of the end to ending, Mr. Jesse Smollett. That's, if you ever see this, I got a Twitter feed, and my Twitter feed was this was played out about people talking about white privilege. Oh, we got white privilege. These guys can get off this, get off that. But they left out one thing. It's not about white. It's not a white privilege. It's not about black privilege or black oppression. It's just straight up rich versus poor. You're rich, you get away with a whole bunch of shit. With the scandals, it's been happening ever since, but now it's straight up in your face. After that Jesse Smollett, I think that got thrown in air. That whatever they were doing with that agenda, I think it got they got pie in the face regarding that. How can 16 charges be dropped on this guy? They have evidence of him falsifying reports, all this evidence that Chicago PD has on this guy. And then all of a sudden they drop his case. So basically what it is, you can see what this whole thing is about. It's rich versus poor, good versus evil. The rich people don't play by different rules than the poor people. And that's basically what it comes down to. It's not about no white privilege. It's about rich privilege. That's basically what it is about. And hopefully, when you saw what happened with the Jesse Smollett case, you know that there's something very fishy about that justice system, because you can tell that it's been bought off, and all those criminals need to go. They should be held accountable, and they will be. So when they're trying to divide you on this race baiting stuff, there is race. Like I said, don't get me wrong, there are racists around here, but the media is magnifying it and stuff. I know the generation here and the generation coming up, they're way more open-minded. I see racism is going down to be abolished, because those old rules or those old beliefs are slowly dying with the people who carried them, and you can see that, and that tradition is slowly falling to the wayside, because there's a lot of the world's small with the connections, with the internet connection, with Instagram, with all the social media. You can talk to someone all around the world. You can video chat with them. You can basically follow them around and stuff, and it just opens up the minds. And the young generation, they have open minds, and they see right through that. And God bless them with whatever. I still don't like the music. I'm still a 90s cat, Tupac all the way, B.I.G., Wu-Tang Clan all the way. That's when hip-hop was golden. But they do have an open mind. So whatever they're throwing to you, because there's so much what these Democrats demons are throwing to you about race and racism and all that. They're beating a dead horse, and they're beating it and they're beating it and they're beating it so much that it's ringing hollow right now. Because for me as a black person, I do not I see racism, but not to the extent that the media is putting it on. Everybody's racist all of a sudden, right? It's bullshit. Yeah, going after everybody for that bullshit. But that's the card they like to play. The card they like to play is divide and conquer, and that race always triggers and hits a lot of people in it. And it's up to you to get educated. It's up to you to open your mind, which I think as human beings we are going to, and we have been, and that shit's gonna ring hollow, to tell you the truth. It is. For every story, every racist story you see on the media, there's about 10 or 15 other stories of unity they do not report on. So take that to the bank. So I'm signing out. I was here for a little bit of time, 27 minutes. It's all good. It's fun to connect with my audience. That 1 or 3 or 2 or 3 people, yes. But it doesn't matter, man. I'll keep on doing it. I don't care if I only have 1 person. I don't care if I have 0 people. I'm still going to do this. And hopefully you hear it and you subscribe. All right, people. Peace. Me signing off. Cadence Radio.